What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and a bit of an impromptu video, but this morning they actually dropped some of the new Blue Eyes support for Battle of Chaos, which I can't say I was expecting, but it's not super shocking because it is a DM era set, so it does make sense that they would be Dark Magician and Blue Eyes support. The thing is while the Dark Magician support seems to be okay, and definitely some of the better support that it's gotten, and we've talked about that in the past, the Blue Eyes support seems to be really strong, and I don't know exactly where it will fit into decks, if people will find ways to utilize it, but you know, if you haven't been living under a rock, you're probably aware Blue Eyes is one of the most popular archetypes of all time, and they continue to give it support. Some of it is very lackluster, others is actually pretty good. Cards like Bingo Machine Go and some of the other more recent releases have been decent, but they haven't been enough to get Blue Eyes back to where it was when it was actually a meta-relevant deck. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at those new cards, and I threw a few of the other announced cards in there as well, just to go over quickly, because there was only a few, and I didn't really want to make a separate video for them. And we're going to start that off here, so if you guys do enjoy the content, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos, and be sure to stay tuned. We already do live streams every couple of days with different openings and stuff, in addition to our normal video schedule. So yeah, if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and click the sub button, and yeah, you won't miss out. So, starting off, we've got Flunders and the Journey Preparations. It is a quick play spell. It says, banish one winged beast monster from your hand or face-up field. Add one Flunders monster or a field spell from your deck to your hand. Then gain 500 life points. So, they decided that Flunders needed a terraforming, which is fine, I suppose, but giving them access to basically any field spell for a minimal cost, because banishing, for the most part, with Flunders cards is actually a benefit, not a detriment, but it also searches for Flunders monsters, so this is an insanely good card for a deck that's already looking really good. It just gives them more consistency, and it gives them access to more cards. Also, it's a quick play, so you do have some flexibility there. And if you want to get really literal down to it, it's also something that gains life points. So if you're going into time, you can use this to put an advantage up on the opponent and avoid draws. So overall, it seems really good. I don't know how it'll fit into the deck specifically, but it looks like another really good piece of support. And I do look forward to seeing what Flunders will actually do here in the TCG once Burst of Destiny actually releases. Monster Rebirth is a trap. It's not very exciting, to be honest. If a monster or monsters was destroyed by battle this turn, send one Monster Reborn from your hand or deck to the graveyard, then target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it. This is treated as a special summon by Monster Reborn. So, it's a battle-reliant trap, so it's not great, although it does trigger if you destroy an opponent's monster by battle, so I guess it's a little less restrictive. Send one Monster Reborn from your hand or deck to the grave. So, it feels like it might work with some of that Winged Dragon of Ra support that is specifically designed to either recur or benefit from Monster Reborn in some way. I don't think it's like the worst card ever printed, but I just don't really see a scenario where it's going to be all that useful. I am curious, though, if they're going to censor the artwork when we get it here with our version of Monster Reborn, or if they're going to leave it, because we've already gotten the Lost Art variant of that with the Ankh. So, interesting, but the card itself is mostly going to be pack filler. And lastly, for the non-Blue Eyes stuff, Guardian Chimera, a level 8 or level 9 fusion monster, beast, 3 monsters with different names, must first be fusion summoned only using monsters in your hand and field as material, minimum 1 from each. So you can't use this, you know, all from hand, field, whatever. If this card is fusion summoned by a spell effect, you can draw cards equal to the number of cards used as material from the hand. And if you do, destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards used as material from the field. So if you use 2 on field, 1 in hand, you draw 1 card, you pop 2 of your opponent's cards, or vice versa. It's definitely not bad. It's a pretty cool card, and it does have an added effect that says your opponent cannot target this card with card effects while polymerization is in your graveyard. I don't know how often that's going to come up. I'm sure there's other ways to make this that are better than that. It feels like a good card for Despia. I'm definitely interested to see how that will fit into the deck, simply because it does give you the ability to draw, and Despia can already generate resources off of fusion summons, so the actual pluses you might be able to get feel like they're pretty solid, at least on the surface. I like this card. I'm happy that it's not like abusable with Super Poly, because you have to use cards in hand, and it does seem like it's a little bit more than pack filler. We get some generic fusions here and there, and they do end up seeing play, even if in small doses, so this is one to keep an eye on. I'm just not sure whether or not it's going to make an immediate impact. Alright, moving on to the Blue Eyes cards. So there's 5 total, and they're all really neat. They're definitely all decent pieces of support, but some of them I just don't think are going to be, like, immediate impact. I don't think they're really going to do all that much, and that may just be because of how much the game has advanced and where these cards are in terms of being balanced versus OP. But BlueEyes Jet Dragon, level 8 Light Dragon monster, 3000 attack, 0 defense. Nice to see Kaiba's Jet finally get a card adaptation. Other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn, and can only activate this effect if Blue-Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. If a card or cards on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when it was destroyed, or hand even if not. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So, if this card is in your graveyard or in your hand and a card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon it, and it does bounce opponent's cards. However, although actually, yeah, opponent's cards. So, but it's not bad. I just don't think it's going to be all that great. It is still reliant on battle destruction. The ability to protect all of your other cards from card effect destruction is definitely neat, and I don't think it's an awful card. It might be something that Blue Eyes players will look to, but I'm just not sold that it's going to be enough to really drive home any type of significant push for the deck. Now, Blue-Eyes Tyrant Dragon, on the other hand, which is just a cool card in general to see this actually come to fruition. Obviously, Tyrant Dragon is a fan-favorite card. It's old. It used to be decent when it first came out many, many years ago, but it hasn't seen play since because it's just been power crept out to oblivion. This card needs a Blue-Eyes White Dragon and any dragon monster, so that's decent in and of itself. It gives Blue-Eyes another fusion toy to play with. Must first either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing one Blue-Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. So you can use this with like Tyrant Burst Dragon and Fang of Critias. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen all that often. The first effect, the ability to just fusion summon it, is more than likely going to be the more impactful way to go. Unaffected by trap effects, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Once per turn at the start or the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target a trap in your grave, set it to your spell and trap zone. So it recurs your traps, especially in Blue Eyes with cards like the Ultimate Creature of Destruction, which is basically a built-in Forbidden Lance without the attack decrease. They also have a few other decent cards, but generally speaking, bringing back things like Impermanence and stuff, if this card battles either way, is really neat. And the fact that it can attack all monsters once each means it's going to potentially be able to set traps more than once, because this is not a hard once per turn effect, at least as far as it's currently worded. So this does feel like a really, really powerful card that is absolutely going to see play. I just don't know in what capacity. But attacking everything, recurring trap resources, and being immune to trap effects in general definitely gives this card significant consideration. Really, really impressed by it, and I think it might be one of the best pieces of support Blue Eyes has gotten in quite a while. Next up, we've got the Tyrant of D. Spellcaster level 4, obviously a Lord of D retrain. If you control a Blue Eyes monster, you choose the attack targets of your opponent's attacks. It's okay. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. You can send one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck or hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. So first of all, that's an awesome effect. It's like a Joker's Knight-esque effect. Basically, mill a Blue Eyes, special this, you get a free extender, you get Blue Eyes engraved, which is typically where you want him versus having to hard draw him or anything, and then you get this out. You can discard one Blue Eyes White Dragon or one card that lists that card in its text, then target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it. This is a really, really good card. It's an incredibly powerful piece of support. It's a free extender that also mills a Blue Eyes from deck and absolutely advances the game state. Also helps to sort of speed up a deck that's a little bit slower in the current formats. So yeah, another really good piece of support. I genuinely think this is huge for Blue Eyes, and it will absolutely see play in Blue Eyes decks for sure. But, I mean, certainly Dragon decks as a whole, or random combo decks may look to this as a way to, like, mill a dragon and special it. I don't know. I'm just reviewing to it with what's here. We'll have to see what happens, but it's hard not to be excited if you're a Blue Eyes player with this card and Tyrant specifically. Now, Apparition with Eyes of Blue is one of the lesser pieces of support, but it's still neat. Continuous spell. When you activate this card, you can reveal one Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. If you do, special summon one monster from your hand. It's not bad. I mean, it's a free extender. It's any monster, so that's pretty solid overall. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster you control, return that monster to the hand, then apply one of these effects. If it was Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can special summon one monster from your hand. Otherwise, special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your hand. So you can bounce like a Sage that you've already normal summoned and special summon something else, and then go into Sage to go full combo. You can bounce Blue Eyes and special summon any monster in your hand. I don't know, whatever you got there that you might want to summon. It's neat and it's searchable, so I could see it being a one-of in the deck. I just don't think it's going to be like a must-play or a mandatory card. And the last one is Ultimate Fusion, which we've talked about for a while, how Blue Eyes could really benefit from a fusion spell on the level of Ancient Gear Fusion. This one is a quick play spell, and it says, during the main phase, fusion summon one fusion monster that lists Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as material by shuffling fusion materials listed on it from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon used as material from the field. So being able to use your graveyard cards is huge, because using something like Tyrant of D is going to set this up right away. Blue Eyes never has trouble getting stuff engraved. That's sort of the whole objective of the deck. So it's definitely something to look at and say, okay, yeah, this feels like it has some potential. But the fact that it's a quick play, and the fact that you can also destroy cards, so if you have a Blue Eyes out that you just special summon with Apparition or something else, and then you shuffle it back into the deck, you get free pops, and if you go into something like the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, you're then set up with a really good board that's going to allow you to push forward. Ultimate Fusion is a good card. It's not usable. Oh, it might be usable by Anaconda, actually. I'm not sure. But I don't know how reasonably that's going to come into play. Just overall, a really, really good set of material here for Blue Eyes as a whole. I think that the best card that they got access to here is definitely going to be Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, but I would not sleep on Tyrant of D. This looks like a really good card to sort of advance your game state, and overall, I'm really impressed by this support. It's really cool to see that they're actually giving good support to DM era stuff. If they're gonna print that nostalgia support, it should at least be playable, and it looks like in this case it is. So let me know what you guys think about these new cards. The other stuff is neat too, especially the Flunderies stuff and the Guardian Fusion, but overall, really excited. Battle of Chaos really took a huge step forward, in my opinion, in terms of marketability and decent cards. So let me know what you think. Hit the like button if you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.